Hello everyone, my name is Jasmine Sadler. I'm a dancing rocket scientist and I'm here today to read Abby Invents Unbreakable Crayons by my friend Dr. Arlyne Simon. Class, meet inventor Maya Smart, said Miss Pilar. Abby gasped, she looks like me. I built a robot that helps kids with their homework. I named it Tutor Me Bot, says inventor Maya. Did your robot work the first time? Asked Abby. No, laughed inventor Maya. It failed many times, but I never gave up. Class, please grab some crayons and color your Tutor Me box. Snap! Abby's crayon broke in two. One by one, all the other students' crayons broke too. Not again, she groaned. Miss Pilar, all the crayons broke again. Why do they always break? Asked Abby. Maybe crayons are too soft or kids color too hard, said Miss Pilar. Can you please buy crayons that do not break? Asked Abby. All crayons break, said Miss Pilar. What? All crayons break? There isn't one crayon in the whole wide world that doesn't break, asked Abby. No, all crayons break, said Miss Pilar. Abby grumbled. Then she had a brilliant idea. I will make the first unbreakable crayons. Miss Pilar smiled. You are a problem solver. You are an inventor. You solve problems, big and small, because you have great ideas. Abby was bursting with questions. What are crayons made of? How are crayons made? Why do crayons break? After school, she marched to the library. She learned that crayons are made of wax and dye. Wax makes crayons hard. Dyes give crayons their color. Next, she learned how crayons are made. 1, heat the wax until it melts. 2, blend the wax with a dye. 3, pour the mixture into a machine that has holes shaped like crayons. 4, cool the mixture until it turns solid. 5, the machine will pop out wax crayons. Finally, she learned why crayons break. Crayons break because they're not strong enough. They are thin and long, so if pressed too hard, they will break. Miss Pilar was right. Abby sketched her unbreakable crayons. They must be not too thin, not too thick, not too short, not too tall, not too soft, not too hard, and they must never, ever, ever break. Miss Pilar helped Abby carry out tests in the school's lab. Safety first, warned Miss Pilar. Wear a lab coat and safety glasses, please. On the first try, all the crayons broke. Abby tried again. She added plenty dye sometimes. She added a tiny drop of dye other times. She baked longer sometimes. She cooled faster other times. Still, the crayons kept breaking. Grrr! Ah! Yelled Abby. I give up. This is too hard. Oh, Abby, remember what inventor Maya told you, said Miss Pilar. Your test will fail many times, but you cannot quit. Can you think of everyday items that do not break? Can you think of everyday items that do not break? Abby went to the playground. She watched kids play on the swings and monkey bars. She took out her notepad and wrote things that do not break at the playground. Swing sets, monkey bars, slides. She ran to see Miss Pilar at the lab. What are swing seats made of? Hard plastic. What are monkey bars made of? Hard plastic. What are slides made of? Hard plastic. Perhaps the secret to Unbreakable crayons was hard plastic, not wax. Abby and Miss Pilar grinned. I am a problem solver. I am an inventor. I solve problems big and small because I have great ideas, sang Abby. Abby tried again. She added plenty of dye sometimes. She added a tiny drop of dye other times. She baked longer sometimes. She cooled faster other times. After 2 weeks, Abby created the perfect recipe. 1. Heat hard plastic until it melts. 2. Add colored dye and stir. 3. Pour mixture into a crayon mold with round holes. 4. Bake in oven for 1 hour. 5. Cool until mixture turns solid. 6. Out pops Unbreakable crayons. To test how hard her Unbreakable crayons were, Abby jumped on them. They didn't break. She bit them. They didn't break. Miss Pilar even drove the school bus over them. Still, they didn't break. Abby shared the Unbreakable crayons with her classmates. Whoa, these are strong crayons, said one of the students. Thanks to Abby's invention, no one had to worry about broken crayons anymore. Abby wrote a letter to Inventor Maya. Dear Inventor Maya, thank you for speaking at Miss Pilar's class. I am now an inventor, just like you. I invented Unbreakable crayons. I am sending you a few to try. Happy coloring, Inventor Abby. The next year, Abby got a patent from the government. It is a certificate that says she was the first person in the entire country to create Unbreakable crayons. The patent says, Inventor Abby, title, Unbreakable crayons. For the next 20 years, this patent gives Abby the right to make, use, and sell Unbreakable crayons in this country. I cannot wait to invent again, smiled Abby. Inventing is so much fun. And this is a note from my friend, Dr. Arlyne Simon. Hello, future inventor. Thank you for reading my book. This is what I looked like when I was about your age. I never imagined that I would become an inventor, but I did. You can be an inventor too. Yes, you. If Abby and I can do it, you can too. You are a problem solver. You are an inventor. You solve problems big and small because you have great ideas. I cannot wait to see what you invent. I know it's going to be cool. I hope you enjoyed reading Abby's story as much as I enjoyed writing it. I welcome your feedback. Please leave a review on Amazon and Goodreads. Stay curious. Dr. Arlyne Simon, and her Instagram handle is at Arlyne, A-R-L-Y-N-E, Simon, S-I-M-O-N, Ph.D. Her website, www.arlynesimon.com. The end. And just so you all know, she has also some notes of a glossary of what an inventor is, what it means to invent, an inventor, invention, patent. So to invent is to make or design something that never existed before. An inventor is the first person to make a design, a new device, machine, or process. 3, an invention is a new process or device that did not exist before. and a patent is a document given to an inventor by the government which prevents other people from making, selling, or using the invention for up to 20 years. And so she has a little bit here about dear future inventor, and Abby replaced the wax with hard plastics to create unbreakable crayons. But this is not the only way to prevent crayons from breaking. What would you invent to prevent your crayons from breaking? Draw your inventions below. Do you have ideas for other inventions? Draw your inventions below. Describe how you will design your inventions and keep your notes safe to protect your idea. Someday, you may also get a patent from the government. So on your sheets of paper, you can do that. So that's the end. Abby invents Unbreakable Crayons by Dr. Arlyne Simon. Hello everyone, I'm back again with another book. My name is Jasmine Sadler and I am a dancing rocket scientist. Today I'm reading The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind by William Kamkwamba and Bryan and pictures by Elizabeth Zunan. So very good pictures, and this is really what brings into STEM the arts, so it makes STEAM. In a small village in Malawi, where people had no money for lights, nightfall came quickly and hurried poor farmers to bed. But for William, the darkness was best for dreaming. He dreamed of building things and taking them apart, like the trucks with bottle cap wheels parked under his bed, and pieces of radios that he'd crack open and wonder, if I can hear the music, then where's the band? His grandpa's tales of magic also whispered in the pitch black of his room. Witch planes passed through the window while ghost dancers twirled around the room, as if 100 men were inside their bodies. At dawn in the fields, William scanned the maze rows for magical beings, then wondered, as a truck rumbled past, how does its engine make it go? Pay attention to where you throw that hoe, his father shouted. You'll cut off your foot. For all its power over dancers and flying things, magic could not bring the rain. Without water, the sun rose angry each morning and scorched the fields, turning the maize into dust. Without food, Malawi began to starve. Soon William's father gathered the children and said, "From now on, we eat only one meal per day. Make it last." In the evenings, they sat around the lantern and ate their handful, watching hungry people pass like spirits along the roads. Money also disappeared with the rain. "Pepani," his father said, "I am sorry. You will have to drop out of school." Now William stood on the road and watched the lucky students pass, alone with the monster in his belly and the lump in his throat. For weeks he sulked under the mango tree until he remembered the library down the road, a gift from the Americans. He found science books filled with brilliant pictures. With his English dictionary close by, William put together how engines move those big trucks, and how radios pulled their music from the sky. But the greatest picture of all was a machine taller than the tallest tree with blades like a fan. A giant pinwheel? Something to catch magic? Slowly he built the sentence. Windmills can produce electricity and pump water. He closed his eyes and saw a windmill outside his home. pulling electricity from the breeze and bringing light to the dark valley. He saw the machine drawing cool water from the ground, sending it gushing through the thirsty fields, turning the maize tall and green. Even when farmers' prayers for rain went unanswered, the windmill was more than a machine. It was a weapon to fight hunger. Magesti amepo, he whispered, I will build electric wind. In the junkyard, pieces appeared, like rusted treasures in the tall grass. A tractor fan, some pipe, and bearings and bolts that required every muscle to move. Tonga, he'd shout to the birds and spiders holding up his prize. But as William dragged his metals home, people called out, this boy is misala. Only crazy people play with trash. After many weeks, William arranged his pieces in the dirt. A broken bicycle, rusted bottle caps, a plastic pipe, even a small generator that powered a headlight on a bike. For 3 days, he bolted, banged, and tinkered while chickens squawked and dogs barked and neighbors shook their heads saying, what's Misala doing now? His cousin Jeffrey and best friend Gilbert soon appeared. Muli Blunt Vlanji, they greeted. Can we help with electric wind? Grab your pangas and follow me, he said, and took them into the forest. Together they swung their sharp blades into the trunks of blue gum trees, then hammered them together to make the tower. Standing atop, William shouted, bring it up, while the boys tugged and heaved. A crowd gathered below and gazed at this strange machine that now leaned and wobbled like a clumsy giraffe. Some giggled, others teased, but William waited for the wind. Like always, it came. First a breeze, then a gusting gale. The tower swayed and the blades spun around. With sore hands, once slowed by hunger and darkness, William connected wires to a small bulb, which flickered at first, then surged as bright as the sun. Tonga, he shouted, I have made electric wind. Wachita bueno, a man yelled, well done. As the doubters clapped and cheered, William knew he had just begun. Light could not fill empty bellies, but another windmill could soak the dry ground, creating food where once there was none. Magesti amepo, electric wind can feed my country, William thought. And that was the strongest magic of all. So then it concludes with a little bit about the inventor. So I'm going to read this as well because it's very important still. William Kamkwamba was born in 1987 and grew up near the village of Wimbi, located in central Malawi. Like many people in Malawi and the rest of sub-Saharan Africa, William's father, Trywell, was a farmer. The Kamkwambas grew a kind of a kind of white sweet corn called maize, which they ate for every meal in the form of porridge called sima. To make extra money for clothes, medicine, and other essentials, they also raised tobacco to sell in the capital city, Lilongwe. Because their only food came from the ground, any problems with the weather or changes in the price of seeds or fertilizer could cause a serious problem. That's exactly what happened in 2001 and 2002. A severe drought killed most of the maize fields in Malawi, including those of William's father. Within several months, the entire country had run out of food and began to starve. A terrible event known as a famine. Eating only one meal per day, William, his parents, and 6 sisters began losing weight. At one point, his father even went temporarily blind from hunger. The famine killed over 10,000 people in Malawi, including many in Wimbe. With no money to pay for school fees, high school in Malawi is not free like in America. William had to drop out. But instead of sulking around, he began visiting the library that was started by the American government. There he found books on science, which he loved. William didn't speak good English, so he used dictionaries to learn the words describing the pictures, so that intrigued him. One of the pictures was a windmill. The words said that windmills could produce electricity and pump water. Like most people in Malawi, William's parents had no electricity, and water could be used to feed his father's fields. Never again would they have to depend on the rain. I will build a windmill, William thought. The pieces William used to build his windmill were a tractor fan, shock absorber, and the frame of a broken bicycle missing a wheel. For blades, he melted plastic pipe over a fire and flattened them, then carved their shape with a saw. For a generator, he used a dynamo, which is a tiny bottle-shaped device that produces electricity by turning magnets inside a coil of wire, something called electromagnetism. When the wind blew, the blades acted like pedals and spun the tire, which turned the coils inside the dynamo and produced a current. A wire from the dynamo reached down to William's room and powered a small light bulb. He was 14 years old. Eventually, William used his windmill to charge a car battery, allowing him to power 4 light bulbs in his parents' house. But his dream of pumping water wasn't achieved until several years later, when he built his green machine, which pulled water from a small well near his home and fed his mother's garden, allowing her to grow vegetables year-round. In 2007, William was discovered by some journalists and invited him to speak at the TED conference in Tanzania. He'd never been in an airplane or even seen the internet. Many people were moved by his story and donated money to help send him back to school and eventually install a solar-powered water pump that irrigated his father's field, forever protecting them from hunger. William is now a student at Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire. William, he is studying to be an engineer and plans to return to Malawi to work on renewable energy for electricity and pumping water in villages. And there's a picture of him at the top. The end. So on the back here, it says, the true story of a boy whose great idea and perseverance lit up his home and inspired the world. And now this is also a film on Netflix, and he's also a presenter at a TED Talk. So go and check him out. You can Google The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind by William Kamkwamba, and Bryan Miller. And the picture is by Elizabeth Zwonin. Thanks, everyone.